Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Profound States. Tonight we have a very special guest, Carina Hultqvist. That's not easy to say. From Sweden. She is a telepathic contact with aliens. She tells the future, sees the past, has she channels aliens and higher cosmic beings. She's a remote viewer, a channel, and does healing and personal consultancy. She has a BA, and I won't go into. She gives light courses, and what else? She has advanced level healing master teaching course. She has a remote viewing master course, servants of the light courses, and she teaches about the Kabbalah, Tarot, alchemy, magic, out of body stuff. We may get into that. Shamanism, witchcraft, meditation, dowsing, regression, time travel, and much more. Welcome to tonight's show, Carina Hultqvist.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and it sounds thrilling this time to be with you. So I look forward to this.
Okay, well, since you mentioned all the alien contacts you've had,
Yeah.
I think that would be very interesting for people to get into. So, um, at the beginning of your life, who was the first alien that you came in contact with?
The first experience I had with an alien being was when I was 6 years old. I I didn't even know that there existed aliens or things like that. I was just a small child. I haven't even started going to school. It was my last summer holiday before school started. I was in the countryside. I sat by the water, just looking at the water, and suddenly I was abducted, to use that word. I didn't know it was abduction, but I was brought to another place, to a very, very small little cliff out in the ocean somewhere, very remote. I didn't see anything around me but water and sky. And I somehow knew that I was there on purpose, because there were those who wanted me. And I remember, I very, very much, even now, so many years after, remember exactly what happened, because I looked up into the sky and said, please, I am not going with you. I'm not coming. I want to stay where I am for the moment. And I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who had brought me to this little stone in the middle of the ocean, but I knew I had to stay. And having said that, and for just a few seconds or half a minute later, I was brought back to the shore where I came from. And I felt that it was a very friendly being who had brought me away and brought me back again. And I was never afraid, because I felt so secure with this being, whoever it was. Later in life, much, much later, say 40 or 50 years later, I met this being again and found out who it was. And we have met many, many times after that. And if you like, I can tell you about my next meeting with this being, because it was rather exceptional.
Please,
Would you like to?
please do so. Go right ahead.
I was learning remote viewing. We were a group of 30 people, 30 students, and a teacher, and we all had to do so-called the remote viewing when you don't use paper and pen, but you just close your eyes, go deep, deep, deep down into meditation, and go to leave your physical body and go to another place. A remote viewing, as most of our listeners know, is originally a way to spy on the enemy, but it is nowadays, since 1995 at least, used only, officially used only for personal reasons. So it has nothing with politics or spying or the military to do anymore. At least that's official picture. So I'm not involved in anything like that. I'm just a private person doing this. But I was learning. I was learning from a guy who had been to Fort Meade, who had been one of those 16 remote viewers who were the original group. So he had first-hand knowledge about it.
His name?
Anyway, yeah.
His name?
His name is, we call him Dave.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
David was, I would say, he wasn't one of the very, very best remote viewers they had at Fort Meade, but he was a very good teacher. So he taught us how to do it. And we did it one session, all of us. And this was a very special session because we were sent to another planet. We didn't know that, of course. We had to find out where we were. But it was, as I said, 30 of us. 28 of the group saw something which they all described as little white beings, just, maybe knee-high or waist-high, or rather small anyway. And they couldn't communicate with these beings. They seemed to be robots or roboids or something like that. But that's what they saw. One of the guys in our group fell asleep, and I came to the same place, but I saw something very, very different. What I did see was a black crystal planet far, far out in our solar system, in what we call the Kuiper belt. If you know, it's outside Pluto and all the known planets, but it's there. And inside, I was suddenly inside the planet, and I stood facing a wall, which I thought was a mirror because it was reflecting my image, and the guy who was behind me. It was a very imposing being, tall, very tall. I don't know how tall, but a lot taller than normal humans. He was sitting on something. He was clad in black or dark something. I could see his hands. He had 4, not 5, 4 fingers, rather long fingers. And I saw his head, and it was half human, half lizard. So after that, I always called him Lizard Man. And it was rather scary to stand there and look in the mirror and see this being behind me. So I just very carefully turned around and said, "Hello." Extremely silly, of course, but what could I do? I didn't know if he would eat me or greet me or whatever. Sorry, excuse me. So, but he just smiled and came over to me, and we started a conversation that lasted for hours. He told me a lot about who he was, what his job was, where this was, what the white little beings were doing, and how he lived, and so on and so forth. And we have met at several occasions after that. He is kind of a guardian for me. I'm not quite sure about the ethics about what he does.
What do you
But he's
call
been very helpful.
him now?
Mm,
What do you call him now? You don't call him Lizard Man anymore. What do you call
I do. I
him?
do.
You?
Yeah, I
Okay.
still do.
All right. Well, you said asked him. You mentioned.
Because they don't have names.
Oh, okay.
I have to call him something.
So,
He is the only one of his kind on this planet, but there are many others of his kind on other celestial bodies, but not here in our solar system.
so you questioned his ethics for a moment.
Yeah, he told me a lot of things he had done, and I thought that maybe it was good or not so very good, and he had lots of plans, and he told me about them, and I thought, yeah, perhaps. I could understand what he did and the reasons why he did it, though I wouldn't have done it myself. But anyway,
so at
he
least he
he's
was very honest with you about his what he's done in the past. That even if he's done bad things, you can say that at least he was upfront about his past. Yes.
yes, absolutely. He told me as a lot of things, and he told me about future things as well, and things that are going on right now. So, which I cannot put. I have no I have no reason to doubt what he is or his power to do it, though I think the ethics of doing it isn't what I would recommend. So we have different ideas sometimes, but he's protecting me. He's been doing that for all all the, all my life, and he was the one who sent me to that little cliff in the ocean when I was 6, and he told me so the
So,
first time I met him when I was an adult.
so why do you think he protects you?
He As I'm more or less an official person, there are always energies, people who either want to attack me or who want to get things from me or who want to stop me from doing things and so on. So he has taken on the role of protector. And I think he's quite a good one, but because after he has done that, after we met when I was learning this, nothing evil has touched me anymore, or nothing really evil, I'd say. So it seems he's a good protector.
So, do you remember any time where he protected you in the past that you haven't discussed yet? But that, that after thinking about, something might have happened to you and it didn't happen to you, and you figure something saved you, and then later on you would think, oh, that must have been him. Is there anything you can recall in your past that you remember that he saved you from, that he protected you?
One time I knew a man who was rather, he has a bad temper. So he once was about to hit me, and he suddenly stopped in the middle of, you know, getting at me, and I thought, what was that? What stopped him? And he didn't know, and I didn't know what stopped him, but it was this little man who stopped him. He told me so after. So this is an example of things that never happened because I was protected. Also, I did a lot of exorcism previously, and it could be rather, I would say, not dangerous things, but not very nice energies. And you have to be very careful when you do exorcism, so not to be attacked by it. And so, but I felt protected all the time by this lizard. So I owe him a lot, either I like it or not.
So, how many exorcisms have you done, relatively speaking?
I have no idea.
If you had to
Quite a
guess, if
lot
you
of
had to
stuff.
guess, how many would you say you would?
Couple of dozens, perhaps.
Couple, 2 or 3 dozen?
Yeah, perhaps.
And did you do all of them?
10, 20, 30, something like that.
Oh, it could be a lot more than that. So
No, not more, but
uh,
something around that.
20 to 30 ish.
Yeah.
So are these people that you knew? Okay. So all of your exorcisms, have they all been done in person, or have you ever done a remote exorcism?
Both. Some have been with the person present, some have been with the person absent. It depends. It has also been exorcism when buildings have been attacked. So I've done it not only for people but also for buildings.
And um, of all the remote exorcisms you've done, is there one that if I asked you about all of your remote exorcisms, is there one that stands out in your mind that comes to your mind when I say that?
No, I can't say really, because the remote exorcism I have done haven't been so spectacular. The personal ones have been more interesting, really. So I can't pick out anything that was any special.
So,
I
okay.
mean, exorcism isn't something I do regularly. It's something I just do when required.
So
It's not
how much do you charge for an exorcism?
nothing.
Okay. And if somebody wanted one, how long would it take before they requested it that you would do it?
It depends on where they are and what happens. I mean, every case is special. I can't say this is a standard procedure. I can only say that if someone asks me to do a exorcism, I have to first find out what is attacking them, how long has it been going on, and all that, and then I decide if I do it or not, to do it or not to do it. And if I do it, people are mostly extremely grateful and happy after to get rid of it, and I think that's thanks enough. So I never charge for it. I charge for regular consultations that take time and so on, when I give a lot of good advice or bad advice, or I don't know what. But for exorcism, it's so special, and it's people are so relieved after, and I think that's that's good enough.
Well, I would like one.
But you don't need one.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I have at least one attaching spirit.
Yeah, but nothing that could endanger your life and endanger your daily life.
Oh, so you're saying, well, okay, so the girl that saw mine, at least the one that sits on my head, she called it an imp,
Hmm.
IMP, which is can be described as a demon or an earth spirit,
Yeah.
small, malevolent earth spirit, and that's she. When she described it, she described its activities. It was jumping around on the top of my head at the time she was looking at it, and so her description was accurate. So
Mm.
I knew she was could actually see it, and
Yeah.
so um, if you don't think it's dangerous, I mean,
Uh,
that's good information.
no, but it could be there, but it can't do anything to you, because you have. I think you are a lot stronger than that demon. It just wants to get at you, but it can't do it. It just tries and keeps around sometimes. But you are too strong. You are too, shall we say, too advanced. You are on such a frequency that this demon cannot reach and cannot damage anything and cannot cause you anything serious.
Yeah, well, the worst thing it's done so far is caused me to break my hip,
Mm.
and what else did it do? It's done some other things. On rare occasion, it'll make my eyes see differently from one to the next, and I have to be
Mhm.
able to see. I have to close one of my eyes. And,
But is that a demon working?
I'm pretty sure it is an attachment. I think it's a demon. I mean,
Yeah.
an imp, a demon, earth spirit. Okay,
Yeah,
so
whatever you call it, but you're sure it is this thing
well,
being
okay, so
causing this.
um, I talked to a psychic. I didn't actually talk to the psychic. I talked to a lady. I called a lady up. I found her in a newspaper. I called her up and mentioned the problem, and uh, she said, I forgot what she said, but we hung up after the end of our conversation. She hung up, and sometime later she called a friend of hers who was a psychic in
Mm.
Oregon, or I don't know if her friend was in Oregon, but she was in Oregon. And her friend, the psychic friend, told her that I got my attaching spirits from smoking. So
Yeah.
a week or so later, she called me back and she said, "My psychic friend said you got
Mm.
your problem from smoking." And
Okay.
she said, I had been over to her house, and she said, "I didn't see you smoke. I didn't think you smoked. Do you smoke?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I don't smoke cigarettes." And I had smoked pot. I'd stayed high for 18 years of my
Yeah.
life. And
Yeah.
so that's how I got it, from being high all the time. And,
Yeah. I see.
but, I had quit it long before I met this lady. So she didn't see me do anything because I no longer smoked anything when I met
Uh,
her. But I've only smoked 2 cigarettes in my entire life. But I stayed high morning, noon, and night for 18 years from the age of 16. What's
mm.
18 plus 16? That's 34 years. So I was stayed high, basically. So that's how I got my attaching spirits. But
So no, it's no small wonder because smoking and anything you use that is not good for you can cause attacks. So I
well,
mean, alcohol, for instance, drinking can have the same effect on drugs of all kind, even medicines sometimes.
well, um,
Any drugs have that effect because it lowers your defense.
it's very common for people who have smoked a lot of marijuana to get imps,
Mm, yeah.
an earth spirit. They're they're described as small demons,
Yes.
and
Yes.
uh, so a lot of people who are addicted to marijuana get earth spirits
Mm,
and
yeah.
attach to them. And
Yes.
my
But normally they don't cause that much harm. They are
well,
not so powerful. Some are, but most of them are not so powerful.
my wife played with a Ouija board on her 14th birthday all day with a girlfriend of hers, and
Hmm.
she got a whole legion inside of her. And, uh,
Yeah.
and
Experience. Also, I know. I also I once played with the Ouija board and found out that other beings from other dimensions are very, very interested in what we do when we do this. Also, when we do divinations and we use tarot cards and things, they kind of crowd around you to see what happens. They are very, very curious beings very often.
so, have you ever heard of Seth?
Uh, I have I haven't been attacked by
No, no, I'm just
that
saying, have
way.
you ever heard of a
But
being?
yeah, I have seen them. I've seen them on other people. I worked with them. I mean, I kind of removed them from other people, but they have never attacked me.
So, have you ever heard of a being called Seth? S-E-
Seth?
S-E-T-H, Seth.
Yes.
Have you heard of the being called Seth?
Oh, yes. Seth is the first Seth I know of, at least, is the Egyptian god Seth.
Well, this is with an H, S-E-T-H.
Yeah, yeah.
So this Seth is, there's a couple books, Seth Speaks, and there's another one. I forget the name of the other one, but
Okay.
Seth was the Jane Roberts, the lady who used to channel Seth when she was alive.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember now. Yes,
Yeah,
I remember her name, but I never read the books.
well, you can see a video of her on YouTube, but
Mm,
an interview, a short interview she did. But she came upon Seth through a Ouija board, and
mm,
but you think of Ouija boards as pulling uh, demons and dark spirits, but Seth seems to be at least from what you get from him, seems to be a very positive being. So I guess
yeah.
Ouija boards can pull stuff from
They pull energies of
all
all
they can
kind.
pull something from either side, right?
Oh yes, oh yes. Whatever, if you do think, if you open up to energies to work through you, they come, they're present, and it can be of any kind. And it's not only a Ouija board; it's, as I said, tarot cards or lots of other things. When you say, "Let us see what's in this for us," and then they gather around you. It's quite natural.
So, did you ever have any onboard experiences with Lizard Man
On-board experiences
on
with
craft or on another
on craft. I've
or on
been,
another planet?
yeah. Lizard Man took me on a craft from his planet to another planet not so many years ago, and it was an interesting experience because this craft was very simple. It was just a small thing, not very elaborate at all, very easy to handle, and like it was the size of a normal, should we say, car or lorry or something like that. Not rather small. And he took me to another planet with it. But my most interesting experience of being on board was when I met a guy called Chief. Chief was one of the officers, or whatever you call them, of the Galactic Fleet, the big Galactic Fleet. You may have heard of that. And he was one of the leading officers. And then he got old and retired, and he became captain on his own ship, and he invited me to come on board, and I did. So he picked me up. He didn't land physically where I was, but he kind of levitated me, or he picked me up, so to say, and said, "I will teach you how to navigate these things." So I was co-pilot to him, and he told me, "You must do this, do that, see here, this is a map, a star map, and so on and so forth," and told me that just to be able to navigate a starship, a spaceship within our solar system takes approximately 1 year to learn. If you are supposed to navigate out in the galaxy, you have apprenticeship of at least 2 years in order to be able to navigate a ship. It's easy to do, but you have so much to look out for. So it was a very interesting teaching, a learning, a lesson I learned there, how
Did he
how
let you
complicated
drive?
it is.
Did he let you drive?
Yes,
He
he
did?
did. Yeah, he did. But
Inside the solar system?
he sat with me, absolutely prepared to do anything to correct me if I did something wrong. So I was quite. I mean, he didn't leave me alone. He never did. He just sat by me all the time. But I could try for a while.
So
Yes.
how far away is his planet from us? Do you know?
Where
You said you went from his planet to another planet, but obviously you went from here to his planet.
Yeah, he took me. This chief took me to another planet. Actually, to the star Capella. If you heard of it, it's a star in our star system. It's called Capella. He took me there and back again. So it isn't his home anyway, but it's somewhere where he knows beings there, and he goes there now and then for some reason. I haven't asked why. But it was very interesting to see how the stars look like. I mean, all these star systems, how they look like from outer space and not from Earth. It's so very different. You have quite another perspective. It's really, it's so wonderful. It's so a little bit scary as well because it's so huge.
So what does Capella look like, and what was his planet like? When describe him and then describe your experience on his planet.
Chief is very much look. He's a very, as I said, he's retired. He looks a little bit human or humanoid. Uh, he has he's thinner, taller, but he has a face that is rather human-like. I have only seen him in uniform, so I haven't seen his body. I don't know, but he has a is sufficiently like humans not to scare us off. So that's good. But and he looks like an old man, and he is rather, his face and skull looks more or less like a human, but he isn't. He's from some other place in the galaxy. And Capella is a star, or rather star system, which is inhabited in, what do you call it? There live people there, there live beings there of a few interesting kinds, I'd say, both human-like and some beings that are very, very different from us. I can't even describe them because I have no words for what they look like. Not insects, not animals, not plants, but not humans, but something in between all that. So Capella is interesting, and I've been there a couple of times because it seems there are extremely good healers living on that star system and some of the planets there. That's what I know of it.
So what's it like if you stood on the surface of this planet, or you were only inside of it?
I have been on the surface of the planet, yes, but not far, just outside of the spaceship.
So what was it like when you were on the surface? What did it look like?
What I saw was a stony planet with a very well organized civilization living on it with kind of buildings. There were buildings, they don't look like our buildings, but there were buildings, there were rooms, there were even coaches that one could sleep there. And there were treatment rooms. That's what I saw. I was shown a room for healing, and beings there had masks for over their heads, so I never saw their heads, but they had 2 legs, 2 arms, so they were kind of humanoid anyway. You know, that when you are in another planet, you are very often in a quite another dimension, or maybe in another time zone, and things are not always very easy to explain because they are not so clear, they are not so easy to understand, and everything happens in a way that when you are there, it feels perfectly natural. When you get away from there and go back home, you start to doubt what you have seen, and you are not sure, was it this, what is that, did it really happen, and so on. So you have to accept that experiences on other planets or other star systems or wherever you are is not easy to describe in normal terms, because they are so different, and your feelings are different, your actions are different, you react differently when you are out there than from at home.
Did it have a sun? What you know, the do you remember, like, the sky, what color the sky was? Did it have a
No,
star?
no, no. I was taken from the spaceship into this kind of healing building, so I didn't see much of the sky. I think it was I can't remember any light. I can't remember any. It was rather, as far as I remember, it was rather dark outside.
So it was at night when you got there.
Probably, probably. I mean, Capella is quite far from us, so I'm not sure about if they have day and night or whatever they have. But it was dark outside, and it was light inside this room, if you call it a room, where I was taken.
And so tell us about other aliens that you've become friends with.
Okay. I don't know if you know, but I have been very interested in crop circles. I suppose you know what that is.
Sure.
Yeah, good, very good. In England, there have been crop circles for many, many years. I've been there several times and watched them and walked in them. And one crop circle awoke very much interest from humans, because we had, and this is many years ago, I think it's 25 or 30 years ago, we sent out some plate or device into Earth where we specified what planet we lived on, our DNA, and so on and so on. We called it the Arecibo message because it was sent from the Arecibo telescope.
Sure, I remember. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. 25 years later, a similar thing arrived on a lawn in England as a crop circle from another civilization with their DNA, that told them that they lived on planet 3 and 4 from their sun, and so on and so forth. And it was very similar.
Yes, I remember.
Okay. And close to this, there was also a face in a crop circle with a face in it, a face of a being. And I looked at that and I thought, she looks a little bit like me. You know, a bit round face, blue eyes, and so on. I thought, she looks like me. I would like to know her. I wonder who she is. And that was that. 2 weeks later, when I was back home, I lay in my bed, sleeping, and woke up in the middle of the night by the feeling that there was someone in the room. So I sat up in bed and looked, and by my bed, just by the bed, there she stood, this being from the crop circle, this female being. And I thought, are you the one? And she smiled and nodded and I stretched out my hand and touched her very, very carefully. But I touched her shoulder with my finger to know, to make sure that she was real. So she felt warm and soft. So I realized she is real. She is not a dream. She is not a fantasy. She is a real being standing by my side, telling me she is the one from Chilbolton, because this was from close to the Chilbolton in England. So I said, what do I call you? And she smiled and said telepathically to me, call me Chili. So Chili has been my friend since then, and we can sometimes have conversations about different things. And she's very, very, very loving being. So it was very interesting experience because she was there physically by my bed in the middle of the night, and I touched her.
I remember you telling that story on another podcast. What?
Yeah, probably with Jeff Mara because
Probably.
yeah.
So
But it's true, and it's an experience which I'm so happy to have had, because it meant so much to me to really have the chance to touch her, not just look,
So
but
what
to
would you
really
call her? Is she like a gray, or what does she look like in general that we would
She looked
understand?
like humans, but a bit shorter, sturdier, and but she has hair of some kind, which is rather like I don't know, curly. Not curly. It's like what do you call it? Things you eat, like
Spaghetti?
sugar. Yeah, as some sugar things. Whatever. Never mind that. But she
Oh, you
has
mean
hair.
you're talking about? I think you're talking about the. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it.
It's a fluffy thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Children,
about. You're
children
talking about
buy it on
it's pink.
markets.
It's usually pink, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah. Anyway, she had kind of hair like that, shorter, a little bit shorter than me, and sturdy.
Cotton candy. It's called cotton candy.
Yeah, kind of candy. Is it? Yes.
Cotton candy is what it's called.
Yeah, and well, extremely loving. And she said all of her race they look like that.
So, of all the aliens you've had experience with, which alien have you had the most experience with?
That's Lizard Man.
Lizard Man. And
Another one which I have met several times was, and that's interesting. It happened in a very odd way. I was having a group at my house. I lived in another place. I had a big house, and we were a group of 10, 15, maybe 20, yeah, at least 15 people. And we sat and discussed different things. And one guy was talking when suddenly I heard in my head someone repeatedly saying "Lily, Lily, Lily." So I had to say to the others, "I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Lily is someone, something who wants something. Can we listen?" And so everybody listened to this, and Lily said, "Hey, may I land on your lawn?" What? Yeah, okay. So we went out of the house, and I had big lawn, and I said, "I don't know what's happening. I don't know what, but use your hands and your eyes and see if you can find anything, if she's here." And we all went in a circle around the lawn and got closer and closer to the center. And we could feel the circumference of something which we thought was a spaceship. At least we could feel we could feel the surface of it, all of us from all. So we could say it's approximately this and this size. And we were, of course, very eager to know why on earth would she land on our lawn. Because she said, okay, I want to know you. I want you to know that I exist. And then many of us have, independently of each other, had conversations with her telepathically. So it's obvious that she exists somehow, and she has been back sometimes, and we can talk to her. And she's a space pilot in the fleet. Nothing. She's in the Ashtar command, and a pilot. So she tells sometimes I hear from others that they have met with her or have had conversations with her. So I have to understand that she is also a real being. But I haven't seen her physically. So I don't know what she looks like. I only heard her.
So, of all the interactions you've had with Lizard Man, uh, is there one that stands out that was more interesting than others?
Yes, there is one that stands out indeed. He took me to, as I told you before, took me to another planet close by, and I wasn't allowed to enter the place he wanted me to come to before I was cleaned, because this was a no-go zone, and it was extremely important that one was absolutely sterile and cleaned, and both me and my clothes and everything. I was put on a bed. I was undressed by little white beings or gray beings, these small grays, which apparently worked there. And they started to scrub me, all my body, outside and inside. They cleaned the blood vessels, they cleaned everything, both inside and outside. So I was absolutely sterile, more or less, before I was allowed to enter a room. And when I entered that room, they said there was glass walls between different rooms. I could see there were many, many rooms. And they said, look in the ceiling. And I looked up at the ceiling, and there were little, what do I call them? Like packages, kind of like piers or something like that, hanging in the ceiling. Hundreds, thousands of them in many rooms. And I said, what's that? And Lizard Man said, they are embryos. They are human embryos supposed to be implanted in fertile mothers in the future. And they are saved for the future because they are taken. These are exceptionally talented little beings. They have such genes and so on. They have been collected for that purpose. So they are the beginning of what he calls the new Earth, which will come in 50 to 100 years from now on. But they are being born now, so they should be grown up when the disasters start to get too difficult for us to handle. And that's the ethics of it, because I said, where do they come from, and who did it, who decided this, and so on. And he said he is the one to administrate it, but it wasn't his idea, and that's as much as I know.
So, speaking of future Earth changes.
Yes.
I guess we're in the time of the beginning of those changes,
Yes.
and
So
uh,
we are.
I've heard rumors from Edgar Casey videos recently, and just all kinds of things. But um, when do you think the Earth changes will actually, the ones that are like, for instance, Edgar talked about the Earth, the America being split by a river in the middle and
Mm.
up the middle,
Yes.
vertical river and things of that nature. So when do you think those? How I watched a video that said like gave like 90 days. What is your take on when all that stuff will start? Where to the point where and I'm not talking about a little earth or a volcano occasionally or an earthquake here and there. There's always, like, for instance, just the other day there was like 1,800 people killed somewhere in the world by
Yeah.
something.
Mm.
But
I
when
think there was landslides or floods
where?
in I think it was in Malaysia or
Oh
Vietnam or
yeah, yeah, right.
uh,
Yeah, that's you're probably,
in the islands.
yeah,
But
18.
I have recently, very recently, written a book about what's going to happen and when. So I mean, it has already started, as you mentioned. We can all see that climate changes have affected temperature. Glaciers are melting. Oceans are getting warmer. Lots of forests lose their ability to take care of carbon dioxide, and so on and so forth. And we also see a lot of unrest in the world between humans. There is more war threat. I mean, the big guys threaten each other with nuclear weapons and things like that. And we have a lot more conflicts everywhere. And people are getting more aggressive. We have more crime, lots of more bad things. And all this is a result of the changes, the system changes that the climate changes. The climate changes make system changes happen, and it will get worse and worse and worse. I say we will reach a point in the 40s when most of the Earth between 40th latitude, that's the equator latitudes, the middle of the Earth, will not be habitable anymore anywhere.
So you're
It
talking about
includes that also includes southern United States.
15 years from now.
Approximately, yes. Then it gets even worse. So it culminates, I would say, in 2060, 2070 perhaps, when the situation is so bad that we have lost almost everything when it comes to civilization, organization, states, banking system, healthcare, schools,
So
military.
what's the name of your book?
I don't know yet. I sent it to the publisher and said, give it a fitting name. I just have a working name for it. I call it System Changes.
But you
We'll see.
used to be an editor for a publisher, correct?
Pardon? An editor?
Didn't you used to
Yeah.
be an editor for a publisher?
Yes, I did.
And is that the publisher you sent it to, or a different publisher?
No. That publishing company doesn't exist anymore. No, I sent it to another that I knew and have worked with little. So they have the book right now and are looking at it, and I hope they will publish it, but I don't know. I just recently sent it in.
So
But
do you have any published books?
not about these things. I published a few books very many years ago. That's nothing to do with this at all.
Well, it's
One book
okay. I
was
mean, you have
one
some
book
books
was
you've
about
written.
diets. Another book was about folk tales. So quite different things.
So
But
you,
that's a long time ago.
but you do have some books you published.
Pardon?
You have written some books.
I have written those books, but it's so many years ago. I am currently writing on 3 different books right now.
So what are your 3 books about?
The first book is about my previous incarnations,
You remember 12 or 15 or how many?
23, 24, something.
And
Not all of them. I mean, some of them I remember whole life stories, and some of them I remember just, short things that happened in them, and not the whole life at all, incidents mostly. And but I think they are interesting in so much that they have the same theme all the time. Every life I remember, I have been sent to Earth with a mission, and it's same every time. And I have apparently not managed to do it, or I wouldn't be sent again and again and again. So, and it is to enlighten people. To enlighten people, that is to tell them the truth about what is and what's going to happen, and how existence is. So I myself am taught a lot about, gods and angels and cosmos and all those things, and also about situation on planet Earth, about the human psyche, what we are, how we can manage, how we can do, how we can improve, and all that. So I have been sent to kind of inform, but I've probably been a rather lousy informer, as I'm here again now.
so how did you learn about your 23 lives? Did you come
I've
in with
always
them?
known. I've known. I know. I was born with the knowledge of them
Of all
all
23,
my
you
life.
were born with the knowledge of all 23 when you.
Yeah, all my life I have known. I've lived before, and I can say I've done that and that and that and that and so on and so forth. So yeah, if it's 22 or 24, I don't know. I haven't counted them, but it's more than 20 anyway.
So
Anyway,
how come you were allowed to remember all your previous lives when nobody else can? People
oh,
can,
some other people do.
but they can pick up those lives, but most people don't remember them when they're born.
That's true. That's true. And I suppose it's because those other lives may be not so relevant for this present life. But for me, the previous lives are relevant because they are all a long chain of the same thing. And I can see how I have tried to express this mission in very many different ways. So they are relevant to me. I don't know why I've been given the knowledge. I mean, it's not only a blessing, but bless. It could also be rather hard to know that you have failed so many times.
So if you are,
As a teacher, you want your students or pupils to learn, right? And when you realize that people haven't learned, also if you have tried a lot, then you have failed in your teaching or something else has happened. So that's what I have experienced so many times now.
so you're a channel, correct?
Yes,
And uh,
I'm a teacher and a channel and yeah.
yeah, so
Uh,
of all the beings you've channeled, Who is the most interesting to you?
I would say, it sounds a little bit odd, but I would say the archangels, because they are not what people think they are. They are extremely advanced high beings, and it is so interesting and it's so rewarding to be able to channel them, at least part of their energies, because they have so much to teach us humanity. So I think that's I regard it as a gift. I've been given the opportunity to be able to communicate with at least with a few of them, not all of them, but there are so many, but a group of them.
So, which archangel is the most powerful one you've channeled of
It's
all
not
of
the
all
most
the
powerful.
archangels? Which one stands out as the most powerful archangel that you've channeled?
It is a being called Metatron.
And
He seems to be, if I should compare them to some organization on Earth, I would say he would be president, or he would be, yeah, the maybe the first in the stuff, something. He's I wouldn't I don't think he's a lot different from the others, but he is held by all the other archangels as a bit superior.
so,
But I normally I have challenged him, of course, or it rather. It's not a him, but there are others that are more easily approached, like one called Sander Alphon, another one which you probably know very well about, Lucifer, who is a good guy, not a bad guy, and Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and so on. They are easily reached and easy to contact, and many people do.
which of those? If I said, it sounds like Metatron is more interesting than the rest. Why is he more interesting? I mean, as far as being unique.
He is the boss of them. He is archbishop, so to say, if they were priests. He is the highest. So he is a little bit more, shall we say, I don't I hate to use the word advanced, but he seems to be the highest of them, with the highest frequency, the highest vibration.
And you channel aliens also, yes?
Yeah, those I know, and those who contact me.
And
Sometimes a lot of aliens contact me that I have never heard of before, but I have no, I don't have the ability to contact any alien or alien group or extraterrestrial beings that people say, can you, for instance, contact this and that being for me? I'm not saying, no, I can't. I'm just receiving from them. So if they want to contact me, my channel is open, and I can contact, and I can channel what they say and what they want, and it can be very long messages sometimes, but I can't just go out and say people want to contact the Pleiadians, for instance, and I say, good luck, do it, but I can't do it for you.
so,
I don't have that such ability.
of all the aliens you've channeled, which was the most interesting message or being, or one that comes to mind? Of all the energy channeled,
Of
which one
all,
comes to
of
mind?
all, if we include the angels, I would say Lucifer.
Well, he's not exactly an angel. I mean,
But he
he's
is.
not an alien. But
No,
if you want to describe him,
yes,
you can go ahead and describe him.
that is very interesting, because my understanding, after having talked to all these angels, all these aliens, and so on, I have come to the understanding that what we call angels or archangels or other angels or messengers or all of them are indeed very advanced extraterrestrial beings. It's no difference. It's just a difference of how advanced they are. So I wouldn't differentiate between angels and aliens, because they're just, it's just about how how high they are, how high frequency and vibration they are and what dimension they are. So to me, it's the same.
So, um, how do you feel about planes of existence? There's the Earth, there's the astral plane, and people talk about other plane. Mainly people go with the Earth plane and the astral plane, but then other people talk. Rarely they talk about the causal mental plane and
Yes.
um, the Ekis. I don't know if you know what an Ek is. ECK. Ekis talk about the planes of duality below the line, particular line, then above that line, all the different planes that are non-dualistic. And so, what do you know, if anything, about the various planes of existence?
Well, for to start with, if you do remote viewing, you work on the astral plane all the time, because you leave your physical body behind. You have your astral body with you, and it looks a little bit like you, but it hasn't so sharp edges, so to say. The astral is where memories are stored, and that's where we go sometimes when we meditate, and sometimes also when we sleep. And then we have emotional plane, which is different, where our feelings are. We have the mental plane, where we have the thoughts. All these planes are attached or functions of the body. Then we have something called the spiritual plane, which is a little bit different, because through the spiritual plane, we may be in contact with what religious people call our soul, our essence, or whatever we call it. And that is not a part of the physical body, the physical us. That's us having a body. So the spiritual is kind of in between. It connects the spiritual us, the being which we are, and the body which we inhabit. See? So and then there are lots of other layers around us which we surround. It's part of our aura. And all these layers can be different from man to man and from being to being, but normally they are kind of more and more advanced the further out from the body they come. So the astral is closest to the physical body, for instance. Not so terribly advanced.
So, do you astral travel? Aside from the obvious, like when you're dreaming.
Well, yes, I astral travel sometimes, and I also use astral travel as a means of reaching remote viewing states. So yes, time travel, astral travel, out of the body experiences, and all that. It is normal to remote viewings.
So is there
We do it all the time.
so is there a difference between okay, so let's say you're astral traveling versus your out of body experience. Is there a difference between the two?
No, not really.
No.
It's out. I leave the body behind. Either I do remote viewing, astral travel, or out of body experience. They are all the same. They are out of the body, out from the body. The body is left behind, and I work and experience leaving the body somewhere else.
So the astral plane is based on memories. The memory of the earth plane.
It's not based on memories, but it contains memories.
So okay. So I hear stories where people go out of their body and they go traveling and uh, like say they're going to their friend's house, and when they get there, before going inside, they describe the door, and the door's not exactly
Mm,
correct.
yeah.
There's the door's wrong, but they go inside, their friend is there, and they wake their friend up, and their friend notices them in their astral body. So obviously they've reached the physical plane after going through the astral plane,
No,
or
they're
they
still no, they don't. They're still they reach they can connect to the physical plane, but they are still those who travel like that are still only in the astral. They don't bring the physical body with them, but the astral looks so very much like a physical body, so you can't say which is which.
so when they woke their friend up, their friend was in the astral plane also.
No, the friend was in probably if the friend was at home, it was in his or her body.
But
I mean,
so,
you can interact with a physical being if you are as in the astral in your astral
oh,
body.
I see what you're
Two
saying.
astral bodies can
Right,
interact with each other
right.
as two physical bodies can.
So I once had an astral bug bite my finger, uh,
Hmm.
my left at the base of my left pointing finger. I was walking through a park in Virginia, Masonic Park or one of the others, and I felt a very sharp pain at the base of my pointing finger on my left hand.
Mm,
I reached over with my right hand and squeezed the air just above the base of my finger on my left hand. And when I
okay.
squeezed it, it looked like blood squirted out of the air to the right, and it was
Mm,
there just for a second, half a second, quarter of a second, and then the blood disappeared. And
mm,
that was the end of the experience. And if I told somebody that, they would think, "Oh, he's just hallucinating." But what happened was my hand swelled up to 3 times its normal size, and I went to a doctor the same day, and a couple, 2 or 3 blocks from my apartment,
no.
and he took some magnifying things that were hooked to his glasses, and he flipped them down over his glasses, and he looked at my finger, and he said, I told him what happened, and he said,
Yeah.
"Yes, I can see two puncture marks
Mm,
on your
bites.
finger."
Mm,
So I had a astral bug bite my finger and punctured it and caused my hand to swell up. So I guess having said that, um, there I will give you a tiny bit more information. There are my understanding is that you have a number of beings who hang around Earth who also dwell in the astral plane a lot. Skinwalkers, um, Bigfoot,
oh yeah.
Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Bigfoot, or Sasquatches, and there's probably
I think Bigfoot and Sasquatch might be remnants of a previous human race, but there are very few left. But as you say, there are many others. The ones you first mentioned,
skinwalkers.
skinwalkers, they are definitely astral beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, skinwalkers are. how do I put this? I'm not. I don't. I'm not sure if they come from the astral plane and stay here for a little while, or if the people who turn into skinwalkers, who are physical humans, after they die, then they become astral beings that come and go. You know what I'm saying? I think they're skinwalkers before they die. They turn into skinwalker. They're physically human, and they go back and forth between being a skinwalker uh,
Yeah.
and being a human, and literally transform back and forth. And then when they die, then they are more on the astral plane, and they're still kind of cursed to walk the earth and go back and forth between the astral plane and the earth plane. That's my understanding of that.
Yes, skinwalkers are shapeshifters, and many shamans can, in the shamanic teaching, you teach and learn how to shift dimensions. So they skinwalkers are shapeshifters, so they can shift from physical to astral to something else, and to animal shape, and to lots of other things. And they are not really in our world, but they come and go, and as a whole, I would say they are not. I'm not very comfortable with them. I don't like to be confronted with them. We have also found. Yeah, I suppose you're familiar with Skinwalker Ranch.
So you've had
Did you?
encounters with
They
skinwalkers?
have skinwalkers there.
You've yeah. They're they're a lot. They inhabit. They come. They're around a lot bigger space than that ranch. They're all over the place.
Oh yes, but that's a typical example of how they do and how they are.
Yeah. Well, have you had encounters with skinwalkers?
No, not personally, and I'm glad, because they are difficult to handle.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm happy not to have had.
So, of all the things you've experienced in your life that we have not talked about, what are some of the most interesting things that you've experienced in this life or others that we have not yet discussed that you think the people would be interested in hearing about?
I think, which may be not possible to talk about today, but something of great interest to many people, is life on Atlantis. I lived there 3 lives, and I remember part of them. And I think it is, to me at least, it is a fact that Atlantis really existed. And it is a fact to me that I have been there, I have experienced what it was to live there. I, I was there when the final days came, when it went under. And I think I will write a book about it, because so many interesting things happened to me there. But I don't know. Maybe I do. It depends on time. I don't have all the time left. I mean, I'm old. I have to decide what's most important.